If you're having trouble staying stable and secure in the saddle, whether that be at a competition, when you're barrel racing, or even in just your day-to-day riding, I have a simple tip for you that'll help you out. My simple tip to keep you more stable and secure in the saddle all relates to your leg and foot position. Where you put your lower leg and your feet will have a big impact in how secure you feel in the saddle, regardless of the saddle that you're riding in or the horse that's underneath you. A big tip is that you want to keep your thighs tight to your horse. You don't want to be gripping, but you want to be able to put weight in your thighs. And the way that you do that is to make sure that your legs are directly underneath you and that your toes are pointed straight forward with the direction of the horse. You don't want your feet going out. So the ideal position for a rider is to have their ear, their shoulder, their hip, and their heel all in one straight up and down line when they're sitting on a horse. Anything that deviates away from this position deviates you away from your ideal position and therefore makes you less secure in the saddle. The most common deviations that I see from this ideal rider position is that people ride in what's called a chair seat, where their feet are too far forward and it looks like they're almost sitting on a chair on their horse. And I will be completely honest here, I actually grew up thinking that you wanted to be in a chair seat on your horse. I had a barrel racing DVD, and in that DVD, this professional barrel racer, which I will not name names, she rode in a very, very exaggerated chair seat. And because she's a professional, she had been a reserve world champion, I thought that you were supposed to ride with a chair seat, but it is actually a rider fault and it makes you less secure in the saddle. Another very, very common fault is riding with your toes pointed anything other than perpendicular. Lots of people ride with their toes out, which again makes you less secure in the saddle because it's rotating your feet and then therefore your legs away from the horse. We want to close those feet up so that they're straight, like you have skis on your feet. That closes your thigh and allows you to stay nice and secure in the saddle. Rider position faults become very apparent when you try to ride in motion on your horse while riding incorrectly. When you're riding correctly, you're in the correct rider position, your toes are pointed forward, you're much better able to stay secure in the saddle, but also be able to drive your horse up, get nice forward motion from your horse. If you're having issues with your horse, going slower, you can't keep them going, and you're just feeling like you are not secure in the saddle, it is very likely your rider position. When you have your feet out in front of you, you're sitting in a chair seat, and maybe you have your toes pointed out this way, it's going to be a lot harder to keep your horse moving. They might even slow down on you. Many times when I tried to do this on Diesel, when I changed my position to the incorrect way of doing things, he would actually break gait on me. He was kind of like, "What the heck are you doing, woman?" And it was just a mess, and I definitely felt a lot less secure in the saddle. Now, with full transparency here, I myself am working on this every single day. Like I said, I grew up thinking I should be riding in a chair seat, and on top of that, I actually had a riding instructor who rode with a very exaggerated toes pointing out, like to the point where her toes were almost pointed perpendicular away from her horse. And again, because my riding instructor was doing it, she's had success, I thought I should be doing that as well. It wasn't until much later on when I had formed really bad habits that I realized, darn it, I need to fix this because it is not working for me. So just remember that when you're riding, you want your toes pointed straight forward and you want your legs, lower leg, that straight up and down line from your ears to your shoulder to your hip to your heels. And I've said that this tip is very, very simple, but if you have bad habits ingrained in your mind like me, it is not easy to correct this. So it will take practice, it will take patience, but it is worth it because in the end, you will end up with a much better rider position that allows you to ride your horse to the fullest capability that you can and feel a lot more stable and secure in the saddle while doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions or comments, please be sure to leave them in the comment section and we'll talk to you next time. Remember, it's always a good day to ride.